Hello, this is Bobbun, and welcome to my Let's Play series using the Hoarder's Delight mod pack by nicolbw. You're watching episode 1. Although you can play it with mobs, this mod pack is designed for peaceful play, and I've spawned into a brand new peaceful world here. You're probably used to mod packs that have you deal with lots of tough mobs, or that have you deal with a hostile environment. Hoarder's Delight is not one of those. Hoarder's Delight is all about the need to gather enormous amounts of resources and build a massive factory where you can craft items in batches of 1,000, 100,000, a million, or even more. So without any more discussion on that, let's just take a closer look at it. I'm a hoarder and I don't feel like I've collected enough stuff. The premise here is that you are helping out somebody who likes to hoard loads and loads of stuff. And so all of these quests involve gathering stuff up and submitting them. I have looked at all the quests. I haven't done a lot of them, but I sort of have an idea of what themes we're going to be following here and um, and which ones are maybe a little easier and a little harder. And what I would like to do here is probably just go through anywhere from 1 to 3 quests a day until we get through or per episode rather, until we get through them all. We can't do all of them. I can tell you, for example, in this last chapter, there is a quest to turn in 1,000,000 magnum torches. This could probably be done, except that the machine that you use to make magnum torches, which is called a QED, is specifically designed not to be automatable. If someone should know a way to automate it, then I'll be happy to look into this one, but I don't believe it can be automated. I think there might be one other quest that's similar to that, and basically we won't be doing anything that can't be automated. Except here in the hoarding warm-up. This first chapter, Hoarding Warm-Up, is our getting started, and it has this is the only place where any quests are initially locked. We're going to start off, and we're going to turn in 10 dirt, and we're going to get a lot of rewards that are just really sweet for 10 dirt. This is sort of the theme of this mod pack. It's not about making things hard in terms of making you have to spend a lot of time going and gathering up materials. We're not going to have to worry too much about finding that first diamond so that we can do something or other. We'll have diamonds by the end of this episode. Um, of course, we'll start the episode with basic ore processing, an alloy smelter, and a sag mill from Ender.io, and plenty of power also from Ender.io and this vibrant capacitor bank. We will have a chunk loader to start with so that we can keep our base running even if we've gone far afield, and we'll start out able to make living wood and living stone because we're just going to be given some floating pure daisies. We have a DSU for storing the cobblestone if we want to use it. I probably won't use this item because I have some other approach for storing all this stuff. But then we have a resonant strongbox. I can tell you that this box, it's not just a box. It contains a lot of stuff up front, and we'll look at that when I get that. These other quests on this first page are all to turn in 128 of the item that you see pictured. Uh, Yellow wool, hardened clay, sand, dirt, logs, and so on. Each one of these gives a pretty nice starting reward that will make it a little easier to get going. By the time we get done with this, we will have a full set of unbreakable tools and a set of armor that will allow us to do creative mode flying. This is not about making it difficult to accomplish these very basic things that will get started. This is about building a massive factory that will produce massive amounts of stuff. And here's an example. If we go to the second chapter, chapters 2, 4, 5, and 6 all involve turning in 100,000 items to complete every quest. So if we look at hoarding food, this first one is soda pop. We will have to turn in 100,000 cola soda. To make cola soda, if we get out to NEI here, fireworks, we're going to need spice leaf, 100,000 of them, sugar, 100,000 of those, bubbly water, 100,000 of those, a pot. We only need one of that. We have to gather all these materials up, and we have to do some sort of crafting on it to get it put together. I would not even, if I had all the materials on hand, would not want to craft 100,000 of them in separate combines, 64 at a time. So we have to automate. Going back to the quest book here, you can see that we've got, looks like 24 different food quests. These are of varying complexity. Some of them, like the delighted meal, involve, we've got to have we've just got to have a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a hamburger and French fries with a drink. So we've got to have all these different pieces that we need to put together. Looking at some of the other quests, the flowers, this one is all about Botania. Some of these are going to involve automating the runic altar, which is going to be interesting. I'm not really entirely sure how to do that with a great deal of reliability, but we're going to need it because we're going to have to run things in batches of 100,000. This one is 100,000 hopper hawks. Floating ones, actually, so you've got to do more combines. Hoarding blocks. These are various blocks that we can craft. I don't think any of these are just extremely hard. Let's see. Bricks, we're going to have a lot of clay. Tinted windows, we're going to have a lot of wool to make those. And so on, but this is actually probably one of the easier chapters. Hoarding stuff, we're going to need more clay for flower pots. We're going to have to make diorite walls, and getting 100,000 of this could be interesting. I always, when I play with chisel in the mod, I always end up getting a bunch of this diorite, and I wish I didn't have it because it doesn't stack with my cobblestone or anything, and so it's just more stuff to hang out. I'm sure the look appeals to a lot of people. It doesn't really appeal all that much to me, and so it's just clutter. Here, though, you've got to have 100,000 of them, which is certainly more than I've ever gotten before, so it may be a challenge to get this. Got to have 100,000 doors. So 100,000 feathers, so we're going to have to do something probably with chickens, although this includes magical crops, and you can use magical crops to produce feathers a different way, and we may actually do it that way. Going back to this chapter, this one only involves 100 of each, or 1,000 of each thing. This one's pretty easy, 1,000 survivalist generators. That doesn't sound too bad. It's probably one we'll do early because I like this Ender Quarry reward. That should certainly help with the diorite. But this one is the easy one. If we look at this one, 1,000 Ender generators. That's going to be pretty tough. This one is 1,000 solar panel 6s. This is a tough one. This is a lot of stuff in this one. It's going to take a while. 1,000 vibrant capacitor banks with a full charge. So we're going to have to generate a lot of energy. That sort of goes along with generating a lot of mana in the flower one. The final chapter, Are You Out of Your Mind? I showed you the magnum torches already. We've got to turn in for cobblestone. It's not a little bit of cobblestone, it's a billion cobblestone. That's a lot. If you were to turn this in at 10,000 a second, it would still take you more than a full day to just to turn this in. Forget about generating it. We're going to have to turn in a million gravel, a million sand, a million dust. So there's a lot of stuff there. Probably the most complicated one on here that we'll do is a million chicken pot pies. We're going to have to grow a million pumpkins, and we'll have to make a million oak wood planks. And you might think a million oak wood planks is a lot. This is probably one of the easier ones. You're going to need a million oak wood planks for this, but you're also going to need, if we go back to, was it here? No. Here. For the doors, you've got to have 600,000 wood planks. So that's not a million, but it's getting on up there. For the solar panel 6s, this is definitely more than a million wood planks goes into this. So yeah, we got to have a million oak wood planks, but that's really just the beginning. So what I want to do here, I think I've already mentioned it, I want to finish maybe 1 to 3 quests a day. I'm not going to rush through these. I'm just going to finish 1 to 3 quests a day as my goal, and by day I mean episode, and just sort of take it slowly. The rest of the time I'll actually spend working on this massive factory that I'm going to have to build to automate all this stuff. We're going to have farms, we're going to have factories, and there's going to be a lot of construction that goes in this to make sure that we can get this. And by setting this 1 to 3 quests a day, we're going to have a pace that I've got to keep up with, and so it's going to be an interesting challenge here. Like I say, I'm not going to rush through it, so we'll probably only do 3 of these today. Let's start off with 10 dirt. So there we go. 3, 4, 5. 9, 10. So we got 10 dirt here. And we're going to submit the dirt. And I don't think any of these rewards are really going to matter. I'll just pick the crafting table. And now we've unlocked the rest of this stuff. Let's take a quick look. There's just like a little flat area up here. Yeah. Let's clear out a little grass here. And I'll put down this chest and we can look at what's inside it. We have a full set of diamond tools, including a chisel, and we have a crescent hammer. We have dark oak saplings and bone meal. We have a golden bag of holding. This gives you essentially a double chest that you can carry around. That's actually quite nice. We have a sleeping bag, so we can sleep without setting our spawn point. We have an iBench Plus. This is a portable crafting bench, so that's helpful. We have some starting conduits, which will go nicely with this starting ore processing here, which I'll set up in just a minute. Let me just grab those. We have some snow blocks and a pumpkin, enough to make a snow golem here, I guess. And we have some jungle wood and some cocoa beans that we can start on it. I'll just grab those. We have some starting food. So let me go ahead and set up a sort of a very minimal ore processing system over here. And I'm just going to put down some of these conduits. Not those conduits. Let's go for the energy conduits. And maybe just to make it look nice, I'll dig a little trench here. And I bet I can do that if I use a shovel. Do it faster anyway. Alright. And this is just going to be a simple system. I'm just going to go ahead and set it up to toward manually here, rather than trying to fully automate this, because I don't want to get into sorting items out and so on. So let's just put these a couple blocks apart, and I don't have any chests yet, so but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it go ahead and automatically feed in and out, at least, not into one another, but out of a chest on this side and into a central chest here, and then out of a chest on this side and into a central one here, and that will make it just a good simple start. So let's power this up. Done, and I'm going to make it so this is chunk loaded. We're done. So here we have our basic ore processing, and I'll clean up some of this extra stuff a little later. And so when we get some ore, we'll be able to process it immediately. So let me put away some of this stuff, and we'll just put a crafting bench there. And I'll plop this down and put some cocoa beans on it, just to get them started. And don't need that book. I will need some food. Keep the quest journal. Put all this other stuff away. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to keep the bag of holding. And I'm going to get out my tools. And so let's take a quick look around here. Find a high spot. Alright, we have lots of desert, and looks like a plains biome here with a river running through it. This doesn't look like a terrible starting point. I see some trees off in the distance over there. It's getting a little harder to see because it's night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do some mining. You've all seen people dig a hole in the ground. I'm sure you've done it yourself many times. So I'm going to do some mining, and when I get done with that, I'll be back. One thing I am going to show first, though, is that this mod pack does include Vein Miner, and Vein Miner allows you to mine a whole bunch of blocks at once, just by holding down a key when you dig. The default key is the tilde. So if I hold that down when I hit this sand, let me move away from... It's going to break a whole bunch of sand blocks all at once, and they're going to drop to the ground, which if it's near me, they'll go into my inventory. That looks like sludge. I don't want to mess with that. But that'll make it a lot easier to get some of this basic introductory mining done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back shortly. Alright, I'm back a little early from my mining trip because I don't know how, but I already broke my diamond pickaxe. That's not going to be a problem though, because I'm going to go ahead and turn in quests. And here's actually what I got on my mining trip so far. Actually, there's some copper ore that I put aside and some coal, and I already put it in the chest. But I did get enough dirt so that I can turn in the dirt quest, which gives an unbreakable shovel. And I got enough cobblestone to turn in the cobblestone one. I'll have to break one of these compressed blocks here. One of the nice things about having this combination of the golden bag of holding and the iBench Plus on a mining trip is that you can compress all of the compressible blocks as you find them, and with a double chest worth of storage capacity, you can be out there mining for quite a while. But let's go ahead and turn in the quest. The dirt one, dig your grave, has us turn in 128 dirt, and it gives an erosion shovel, which is an unbreakable shovel, as a reward. So let's go ahead and get that. And then the other one here is getting stoned. For this we turn in 128 cobblestone, and we get a destruction pickaxe, which is an unbreakable pickaxe. So let me go ahead and turn that in. And now we have the pickaxe. So the diamond shovel can be retired over here, and I can go ahead and unload all of this stuff. And I will go between episodes and clean this up a little bit. Probably compress down the blocks that compress and make sure they all do. Um, the next thing that we're going to need to do here is I want to set up a farm. And to set up a farm, I'm going to need some seeds. And I'm also going to need a bucket. So let's go and put this iron ore in the sag mill. And it will start grinding up so that we can double our ores. I'm also going to go ahead and make some chests here. Let's make 4 of them. And I'll put a chest here, 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 and over here. And I'm going to configure the sag mill to pull out of the left side and push out of the right side. So it'll pick up ores in this chest right here, and it will grind them up and it will spit them out in here, where I will have the responsibility of manually doing something with them for now, because I'm going to set this alloy smelter to pull out of the right side and also to push into this double chest over here. In this case it's on the left. Looks like we managed to suck in some iron because I wasn't quick enough, but it won't generally do that. It will just leave this pulverized stuff over here, and I will just move it over here when I'm ready to smelt it down. And eventually I'll want something a little better than that, but for now that just makes it pretty simple to deal with. Alright, so to get some seeds for farming, of course, you break grass. We've all done this wonderful stuff before. Carrots and potatoes can drop here. You can see that I got a carrot already. Lots of botania flowers around. We'll need those. This is an interesting thing. I already got a bone from the ones in the desert that do skeleton drops. This is a rotten mound. This is from Pam's mob drop crops. If we break this, we'll get rotten flesh. So this is just a way to get rotten flesh in peaceful mode. We can also combine it with seeds to get a rotten seed, which we can use to grow more. You have to have soul sand to grow this on. We don't have any at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. But that is one of several ways of getting various drops that that would normally be dropped by mobs on this peaceful mode scenario here. So we got pumpkin, carrot, regular wheat seeds. Let's see if we can get a few others here. And okay, this is Natura cotton. Very nice for string and wool. This does have Pam's Harvest Craft, by the way, and we'll be depending on that quite a bit for like food recipes. The nice thing about Natura cotton is I actually think it's a little more productive than, or maybe a lot more productive than the Harvest Craft cotton. So we'll probably use that instead of Harvest Craft cotton if we decide to grow our string and wool. Like I say, it does have Harvest Craft. This is one of the Harvest Craft gardens. This one's the grass garden. And this one dropped asparagus and bamboo shoots. I don't think we need either of those, but this is how you get your seeds to start with for the various Harvest Craft crops. And we'll need a bunch of those. And so I don't think the grass ones drop anything I need. But I will have to hunt a bunch of these down between episodes and get, here's a gourd one. Maybe we can get, I think zucchini is one of the ones we need. We already have pumpkin seeds. Let's see here. There we go. We got zucchini. So I'll be gathering up a bunch of those. These berry bushes are from Natura. We'll probably want the blueberry ones. I don't know that I need the raspberry ones. But we could go ahead and, here's a blueberry one. We could use the raspberry ones for making a couple of recipes that just require any juice or smoothie. Um, so anyway, I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode. Between episodes, I am going to do some more mining and do some more gathering up of the various seeds and stuff. And when I start episode 2, I'll set up a farm and we will get going a little better. I'm going to be trying to accumulate a lot of the materials early on to really get going with a strong factory, so that we will have that going and can get started. So I will see you next episode. Thank you for watching.